Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis for Wednesday, March 29th. Okay, we got a lot to cover today. I want to try and get through the markets as fast as I can so I can get to your questions. The questions have been much more organized. Thank you, Richie Rich, for helping me organize the questions. Also, thank you very much for your donations. I'm getting a few more donations now. I'm also getting a lot more live viewers. I'm also getting a lot more people just like hitting me up randomly, some with advanced questions, some with basic questions. And while that is great, I'm still trying to figure out a good way to manage my time and get back into finance and trading because earnings season is coming up, and I'm going to be very busy with actually making some money, which is what I do during earnings season. So I'll need to find a way to balance all that. I do need to update my blog. It has now become like at least 8 to 9 hours I'm gonna have to spend to update my blog. With everything I've done since then. But the top post on my blog is still, is a Bitcoin hard fork still avoidable? This post is still relevant. My odds of a hard fork have significantly dropped. And I'll talk more about that, when I talk about Bitcoin. Already see over 50 live viewers, so that's great. Thank you for tuning in, guys. All right, I'll get to that after as well. Let's just jump right into the markets. Let's go through traditional markets real quick. Here's the S&P 500, and we bounced right off this 50-day moving average. Almost predictable. I was looking for a fall, and this is my numerical indicator right here. And it was, if it would have made it all the way down to a 9 count, like 9 consecutive down days, then it would have been spelled, some kind of doom for the market. But we have turned around, and now we're going back to the upside. So it's very, very likely that this pullback in the market is pretty much over. Let's take a look at the weekly. As you can see, I had this arrow here for several weeks now, trying to get back to this Fibonacci line. This is another one of those good risk-reward trades. I know these are weekly candles, and today is only Wednesday. So let's see how the rest of the week goes. But it really is looking like a positive week. And like markets usually sell off in May. Markets don't usually take a tumble at the end of March. We're still in a seasonally bullish period for the stocks. So April is usually a good month for stocks to go up. Earnings season is coming in middle to late April. And yeah, so there could very well be a new high in the stock market in the very near future. All right, let me close these to save a little memory. All right, let me save this chart so that the green arrow remains there for next week. All right, gold. I have a bit of a dilemma right here. If I think the stocks are going to start to go up, I can only assume that gold's going to go down. So the daily chart of gold is clearly showing that resistance, the Fibonacci resistance, and the 200-day moving average resistance is definitely playing a toll. Obviously, my 2 red arrows haven't really been working out yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just slide this arrow over a little bit. But here's the dilemma, right? Those of you that have been watching me for a while, you know that I hate double tops. Well, like, to me, a double top is not a good reversal. A double top is there to be broken because you don't get 2 chances to make a trade. Like here, like the 2016 low, you didn't really have 2 chances to get in to the bull market in gold. You really only had 1 chance. And if you miss that chance, the market isn't usually nice enough to help you. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma right here, but this is another great risk-reward trade because you know exactly where you are you know exactly where your stop loss is, right? So I'm going to drop this arrow only because it's in the way. And I'm actually going to move this arrow back to where it was. But what I'm going to do here, even though, again, I'm going to throw a trade on here that I'm not actually going to make, mostly because I don't want to babysit directional positions. But I would, a good risk reward trade would be right here. Let's take a look at this. I really should take a look at the weekly first before the daily, but that's okay. I may take this off. All right, let me look at the parameters, right? So let's say you enter at 1255 and you're going to short this thing. So how do you know you've made a mistake? Well, you have this double top resistance and the moving average. And, you want to, it would suck to get, killed on a spike. So let's say it's 1275. Let's see what that looks like, right? That's your stop level. So where's the profit? Well, the profit, you're looking for new lows, definitely lower than the low in March. So let's see. So what are we looking for here? Well, again, you have this low and you have this low, and I think they're both going to get taken out. So what I'm looking for is all the way down to 1160. Something like this. That's really what I would be looking for. So this is one of those risk reward trades. In fact, your risk is even a little too much. Like drop that down to 65. There you go. So basically, these are the kinds of trades I like. So how often will these trades, work out? I don't know. But it's a good risk reward trade because you're only risking about, $10. If it goes up there, I mean, ideally you wanted to see close there, right? So like, it sucks to get taken out on a spike to 1270 only to end up closing the day at 1260, right? So this is where one trader is better than the other because he is able to properly, or with luck, not get fooled intraday, or properly leave intraday, and then it's like, well, I don't want to let intraday take me out, and then next thing you know, the price closes the day all the way at 1290. So this is something I can't help you with. This is something nobody can help you with. As a trader, as you're learning how to trade, all I can do is like throw good risk reward trades that I would consider doing. And this would be one of them. I know that the Fibonacci lines are like really in the way here. Maybe I should drop some of them because they're getting a bit annoying, like this one here, because that clearly wasn't the top. So what if I do this? Oh, that's the other one. Okay, you know what? Let me delete this. It's getting way too cluttered here. And I'm going to do this. It's a daily chart, so probably not going to use the wick. I'm just going to use the end of day. Though I did use the wick on the back end. So let me adjust that a bit. There you go. All right, so now how are we looking? Well, I'm not exactly at any support level here, so kind of in the middle of nowhere, but let's see, maybe we'll adjust it. I know I'm spending way too much time on gold. Let's go with 1175. I just want to put something on there that will stay there for a little while, and then we'll see. We'll see how wrong I am, right? So that will pretty much be the trade. You're not in this trade yet. Gold is trading at 1252. I have this thing would execute at 1255. So we'll see. The worst thing is if it starts to go down and it never hits the 1255. I mean, again, these are the things that frustrate traders. I'm being cheap for like $3, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. I like round numbers. So anyway, maybe gold will bounce up $3 before I end this video anyway. All right, so let me throw that on there on a daily chart. Now, I hope the weekly doesn't tell me the complete opposite, and I discovered that I'm an idiot and I should be taking a long trade in gold. And no, it doesn't. I mean, if you look at the weekly, sure, there's a golden cross here. But again, I'm looking at my divergence right here, right? So there's a higher low in the price, there's a lower low in your momentum, and a big resistance cluster here. And you can, I'm risking a short trade in gold here. If it doesn't work out, I'm out quickly, and then I'll wait till it gets back to the moving average at around 1280, and maybe try it again. Try the short trade again. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, so this would be, so let's see how it is. Let's see how that works out. All right, that one I saved. Let's close. I'm going to leave the weekly gold on there for a second. I haven't shown this chart in a while. I know I don't talk about silver much at all, but I have been talking about this. I've been talking about this chart for a little while now, and this is the gold-silver ratio. And yeah, I think the first time I pulled up this chart, it would have been a few months ago, and I said that this chart is like so cyclical, it's amazing. This would have been, I mean, right here. This was before I started doing these videos, but right there and up here, like this would be the perfect time to do a spread trade, and I'm all about spread trading. I mean, they're like the least risky trades. This is like the perfect time, right around 80, where you would short gold and buy silver, because gold is grossly overvalued compared to silver. And then you had another awesome chance right here. We broke in the 50-day moving average. We came back and retested it from below. This seems to always happen with this chart. Like it happened right here. It happened right here on the downside, right here again. And then it just follows it for a pretty long time. I mean, these cycles last years. So here's another shot, and now you're about to get the death cross. You're having this symmetric triangle. Like everything is pointing to like a complete collapse in gold, but silver not collapsing as much as gold, right? I mean, they can both go down, they can both go up, but the point is that between 2011 and 2016, the value of gold was rising versus silver, and now it's the complete opposite. The value of silver is significantly stronger than gold. So this is a great spread trade. I think this thing is going to go back down to 50. So 50 means that like right now you're looking at it right under 70. So gold is 70 times more valued than silver, and I'm expecting it to get down to 50. So that means if the price of silver is 20 bucks, you would multiply that by 50, and gold would be $1,000, right? So gold will fall down to 1,000, and silver would go up to 20. I'm not even sure how much silver is right now. I don't have the silver chart open. Or gold goes down to 800, and then silver is like, I don't know, 16, 18, 18, I guess, or whatever the math is. Shouldn't do math on air. Anyway. All right, so I just wanted to take a look at that, and I'll get to spread trading a little bit later as well. All right, oil. So, oh man, I was just about to give up on my long trade in oil to, materialize the inverse head and shoulders, and boom, oil has a pretty good week. 3 days in, but we're getting there. So I haven't removed these arrows yet. The 50-day moving average is increasing. The 200-day moving average is decreasing. We'll see. I mean, I think the future of oil is, useless. And look at your momentum, right? I know the MACD kind of crossed below it, but the RSI is still there. Like momentum in oil is increasing, but the price isn't. So something is going to have to give. And I think oil still has a little bit of life in it before it has a complete collapse. I think oil is going to go back to like $10 or $20 where it was like 20 years ago. And it's going to be very, very funny to look back at those books talking about how the world's gonna end when oil hits $200 a barrel. And yes, I'm talking directly to Stephen Lieb and some of the other gloom and doomers that still don't understand the world of technology. Anyway, let me not let me not go off on a tangent here. All right, so we'll leave oil alone. The euro. This is a very ugly looking candle after making a slightly higher high that almost made it to the declining 50-day moving average. Let's see how this week ends. But the euro may finally be coming to an end, or at least starting to. God, man, the euro is like, oh man, the euro is like most of the old coins, like BitShares and Aurora Coin. It never actually dies. It just continues to get stupider. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. All right, so here's my other trade that I didn't actually take, but it's a good risk reward trade. I mean, I want these videos to be more educational. Like, I don't want anyone to follow my trading. You can't. The trades that I actually do, I would never actually tell you guys. But I want these videos to be educational. I want people to kind of see what I see in the charts. And this was a trade I threw on there. And it's another beautiful risk reward trade. I have huge reward. I have very limited risk. And it's working out so far. I would have shorted this thing at 0.875. This is the euro versus the British pound, by the way. So this is another like spread trade where I think the euro is grossly overvalued and the pound is grossly undervalued. And I think they're gonna completely go in opposite directions. And this head and shoulders is helping in that decision. And let's see if we go below this guy here. And it's a currency trade, so they're insanely leveraged. All right, so now we're getting to the Bitcoin. All right, I have Richie Rich. So now that I get to the Bitcoin, if you throw your questions in, Rich is going to help me compile those questions. He'll Skype them over to me, and I'll be able to go through your questions in more of a orderly matter. Let's see. Where do I want to start? All right, let's do the weekly. So we're having a good week. We had 1, 2, 3 red weeks in a row. And if this week closes positively, I would love to see this week close above 1050. And I honestly think the worst is over. I really, really do. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Let me just go through the technicals first. I mean, there's nothing scary here. Like if you didn't own a TV and you didn't have Twitter and you didn't have anything and all you had was charting and trading and you were wearing your noise-resistant headphones, this would look like a normal pullback. I mean, Bitcoin has, look back at like early 2014. I mean, this was insane, where Bitcoin price fell from about 840 down to 380 in one freaking week. We don't have that anymore. Even here, wow, look at this. This is like what? Not even a year ago. This is less than a year ago. This is 9 months ago. What did we have here? Bitcoin fell from 750 down to 530 in 1 week. 1 week. That was worse. Same thing here. Like it's not the end of the world, guys. And this week is green, so it's so far. So let's hope it stays that way. Here's the daily. I mean, this is the chart I look at the most. And yeah, we spend 1 day below the channel. I think I zoomed in on this the other day. I don't have the zoomed in version of this. It's on my Twitter. Let me see. I don't know if I want to pull that up. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Let me see here. Is that it? Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. That's it? Yeah, here we go. That's what I wanted. So I tweeted this out a few days ago, and let me zoom in on this part. Right there, right? So this is what I was talking about when I was zooming in. It's let me just I'll back color. I'll draw like a smaller circle or a box. One of these, right? I mean, you have one of these, and look, it's identical. I mean, this is what I mean. It's patterns. And all we do is look for patterns, right? You know, they both broke a Fibonacci line intraday, and then they bounced back. And then the following day, it closed back above my channel, and now we're further up. So there we go. Close that. Don't save. Right? So now we're clearly in the channel. No matter how you draw this channel, no matter where you draw this channel, everyone should see this again, and you're back in the channel. It's kind of sucks we haven't hit the top of this channel in almost a year, and that's going to happen sooner or later, and probably sooner than later, because Segwit will win. Again, just a matter of time. All right, so that's the daily. Let's glance at the Brave New Coin Liquid Index, and this is yesterday. The price was 1045, and so if by the end of today we're at around 1060, we're at 1040 now, so maybe we won't be at 1060 by end of day. But in any case, I did this chart very early in the year, and I expected the Bitcoin price to be at $10,080 on the 1st of April, right? So, I mean, yeah, I was off on this turn, and yeah, it went higher than I expected, and then it went lower than I expected. But at the end of the day, I have my little red arrow here and little green arrow here. And my expectation was that Bitcoin would be at a price of 1080 on April 1st. And I'm very curious if that's where we're going to be on April 1st. And if we are, I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that bad. I mean, again, look at my article, right? I started off with don't panic. We fought off bad actors before, and we're going to fight off bad actors again. Okay, so now let's talk about the daily, the intraday, sorry. So I threw this good risk-reward trade out there, probably, I believe, even like a week ago, maybe. When did I do it? Oh, I didn't do it a week ago. It's an hourly chart. I did this last video. I put this risk-reward trade on. This thing was like never in the red. It was in the red by like $5-10. Again, this is what I mean about risk-reward. We haven't hit my reward zone. And honestly, if we get back above 1100, we're probably going higher. We're probably going to go way higher. So there's nothing really wrong here. I mean, I put these arrows in. I haven't touched them. You see these additional arrows because I've been tweeting this out as it goes. I don't normally tweet it out, but I've been like curious myself on the progression of this, and everyone's panicking. And I just want to explain to people that, yeah, we fell below my 915 support for about 7 hours, but I've been bullish all throughout. I got a little nervous right here for like an hour, but I never veered from my, never stepped away from my bullish views on the price of Bitcoin. Let's pull up some of these tweets here. So this was the follow-up tweet, in that this was the initial. Let me zoom in on this here. All right, cool. I already have questions coming in. Perfect. I'll get to those in about 5 minutes, guys. All right, so I zoomed in right here, and let's just draw right on here. No, I don't want to use purple. Let me use, I guess, brown. So this is where I initially put that through that trade on right here. Too thick. And it was pretty much up and away. This was the reason for this trade. And now we go up, and then right here we started to fall. So I said, well, you have the moving average cross that's coming. And this is going to be a nice pullback to the 200-hour moving average, as the golden cross is going to come in. And these were going to be very similar patterns. And now if you look at my follow-up, and I'll zoom in on this as well. All right. So there's the golden cross. It took place at about 10:20 based on the previous chart. I was looking for the golden cross to take place a little bit higher. So yeah, it took place. Golden cross took place right here. I was close. I'd not guess. And there's the cross. Now this is very, very common in that, and I've talked about this. I tried looking for like older articles back from like 2015 Cointelegraph days, maybe even 2014, but I gave up, where I talked about how prices love to fall into a moving average crossover. That's very, very common. Delete that. Okay, and look, it had a wick right into the cross, and then it bounced off immediately. And I mean, I was hoping that this would just go right in, and then after the cross, it would start to fall. So prices like to fall right after the cross, or right into the cross. So this one fell into the cross, and then I've been looking for it to go up. I don't remember when I tweeted this out, sometime yesterday. And let's take a look at what it looks like right now. You know what? I'm not gonna close these yet. They're just pictures. And now if you look at it, yeah, it bounced off that cross. It went a little bit lower, but the 200-hour held it up. And, we're looking good. We're looking good. All we got to do is just get right back over these guys, get back to 1070, and then off we go. Honestly, the longer we stay in this cluster under 1100, the bigger the breakout over 1100 would be, because everyone that was waiting for the price of Bitcoin to go to 800 and 700 and 600, all of those people are still on the sidelines. See, the reason why I know all those people are still on the sidelines is by the volume. Look how many people sold Bitcoin right here on this panic. Look how many people sold Bitcoin right here on the initial panic. I think this is where Antpool decided to, keep mining with Bitcoin Core and SegWit, but tell everyone gullible that they're supporting Bitcoin Unlimited, which is completely ridiculous. And people panicked and sold, and then more people panicked and sold, and a bunch of people sold right here, and then people came back in. But there hasn't really been any real volume. And some people think that, yeah, this is a dead cat bounce, and that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that everyone that sold and never bought back in is waiting for a resolution on SegWit versus Bitcoin Unlimited. And one of the things that's going to resolve this mess is the increased price of Bitcoin. And all those people are going to rush back in, and they're going to drive the price of this thing. A lot of them won't get back in until like 1150, 1200. And so much money is going to come back into Bitcoin, not only from altcoins, but also from cash. I wouldn't be surprised if, going back to the daily chart here, I wouldn't be surprised at all if people get their shit together around 1200, and the next thing you know, we're sitting at 2000. Okay, and like I said, this was my view on what's the date on this thing? I always forget. Let's see here, January 3rd, and my view on January 3rd is right here, 2000 by end of summer. And to me, end of summer is end of August. So maybe even mid-August, we'll see. but I do expect, a pullback, because SegWit, even if SegWit is supported, it ain't getting activated anytime soon. Anyway, that's kind of my view. And here's the liquid index one more time. My view was, again, price 1080 around April 1st, and then a breakout happening, sometime mid-April, maybe even late April, to drive us up. Okay, so here's the other thing I wanted to say, right? So I started taking a look at, because my broker, my actual broker in real life of regulated liquid assets, has finally added GBTC, the Bitcoin Savings and Trust by Barry Silbert. I wanted to take a look and see if there was money to be made in spread trading, arbitraging the Barry Silbert's ETF versus the actual price of Bitcoin. And I definitely see opportunities for profit between the price movements of Bitcoin and the price movements of the Bitcoin Savings and Trust, especially now that the ETF by the Winklevi is off the table. There are some very interesting dynamics here. I haven't decided if I'm going to trade it or if I'm just going to talk about it, because it can't be both. I'm already showing you this chart, so my advantage of trading and profiting has been greatly diminished. I'm not going to tell you what I see in this chart, maybe give you guys some homework, but I'll tell you what this is a chart of. So the blue is the chart of Bitcoin, but it's the chart of Bitcoin divided by 10. The red is the chart of Barry Silbert's ETF. So I see definitely opportunities here for arbitraging not only the two markets, but even trading GBTC, which is what I was planning on doing, in a way, because I know how it reacts based on just by looking at this chart. I mean, I probably should have looked at it way earlier. A lot of money could have been made right here on the halving, and stupidly, a lot of money could have been made right here on the ETF news, because this is borderline retarded. The only advantage that Barry Silbert's ETF has in the world is the fact that Winklevi would not get an ETF. So, I mean, to me, this is so dumb, because if the Winklevi could have gotten their ETF, then this would be incredibly bad for Barry Silbert, who currently has a monopoly on the ETF. So this spike being bigger than this spike, and this spike should tell you how dumb investors are, because it was just like so silly. But in a way, dumb, and in a way they aren't, right? So I guess the only way to make sense of it is that people thought that the ETF news was going to be positive, and the only way they can make money on the positive news was to buy Barry Silbert's product, because they don't know how to actually go out and buy the Bitcoin itself. But had this happened and the Winklevi ETF would have launched, it would have basically eliminated the advantage that GBTC has. And you can see that the GBTC usually trades at a premium to Bitcoin, but not right now. So again, I don't want to divulge too much information. You guys can do some homework. Again, here's another chart. This is the ratio of Barry Silbert's ETF to Bitcoin's price. And again, since I'm a spread trader, there are definitely opportunities here. And you should be able to see which way it would go. This is also the reason why I talked about the gold-silver spread earlier in this video. All right, so let's close these guys. Maybe I'll write an article, or maybe I'll just go and trade it. I haven't decided yet. All right, my general thoughts on stuff. So this was just hilarious. The Blythe Masters' digital asset holdings has realized that decentralized ledger technology for financial institutions is stupid, something that R3 is probably realizing eventually. And this was, I mean, we I never thought that Digital Asset Holdings was a useful company. I thought it was a waste of whatever money that was there. I always thought it was insane. And now they're going to get into healthcare, which may be even stupider for the world of blockchain than the back office of finance. So we'll see how that one goes. That was great. And these are not even like Bitcoin people, right? So that was great, because like some of the people I talk to outside of the Bitcoin space, and I try to explain to them how stupid the concept of blockchain is without the Bitcoin, and eventually they get it, especially as more of these headlines come in. Don't save. All right. This was great, by the way. So let me zoom in on this. I tweeted this out. If you're not following me on Twitter, you really should. I only tweet out what's important. I don't tweet out random stuff. Let's go with Green Address first. So Green Address took a very strong position towards SegWit. Green Address is a wallet. There are other wallets. Yes, I know. I do need to make a video of making a full note. Sorry, guys. We'll get there. Just too much on my plate. So I really like the position that Green Address took on SegWit. Now, of course, I will point out the obvious in that, Lawrence, the Green Address lead, is, I did not even know he was a senior architect of Blockstream, but I do trust Blockstream and the core devs. And if they are making user-friendly wallets, which the core wallet really isn't, I think that's great. And here's a Reddit post. I don't even read Reddit, but I saw Luke Jr.'s tweet. And Luke Jr. is one of our great core developers. And he had some awesome explanations as to why we're trying to scale with SegWit. He also explains how the blocks aren't full. It's mostly spam. If you get rid of useless spam, the blocks are maybe half full. And SegWit is already a compromise. So that was great. And so definitely check this out. And finally, just before I was about to go live, somebody tweeted this at me, which was an excellently stated statement by Greg Maxwell. I always forget what Greg Maxwell's Twitter handle is because I'm not on Twitter. And this is absolutely excellent. He tries to explain again how much SegWit is a compromise and how difficult it was to get the compromise of SegWit, even through the 100+ member core team. And once it was reality and it was a great piece of code to solve the scaling problem, the other side decided to try to do a hostile fork one more time. And I really like this last line. A day ago, one of the Illuminatis on our BTC told me to kill myself. I guess you're now expecting a compromise there too, because that's really what it is. There's no compromise between a soft fork and a hard fork, right? It really is like a compromise on someone killing themselves, right? That was a pretty good point. Yeah, I believe Null C is Greg Maxwell. I hope Null C is Greg Maxwell. So at least that's how it was tweeted at me. So right here, Greg Maxwell has an excellent response. But like I said, I'm not a Reddit user. I've never had a Reddit account. So if someone tries to talk to you as me on Reddit or on Bitcoin Talk or on any other those mediums, it's or Steam it's not me, guys. I don't have those accounts. All right, so that's what's going on Twitter. That's definitely great. Nice. Okay, and I think that was it. Oh, there's something you guys may not know. Okay, so I honestly think that the worst is over with this Bitcoin Unlimited nonsense. I think enough people have heard Roger Ver and enough people have heard that side, and they're realizing how insane it is. I was I was listening to a call. There was a debate on scaling organized by Pantera Capital, and Roger Ver had a slight debate against Ben Davenport of BitGo. I'm not too familiar with Ben Davenport's work. He has been in Bitcoin about as long as Roger has. And Adam Back and Charlie Lee were also on the call, but they didn't speak, which was unfortunate. But it was basically a call where I was like cringing half the time, because Roger is trying to explain to BitGo and Charlie Lee and Adam Back and whoever else is listening, he's trying to explain to them how Bitcoin works. And you're just like cringing. Like he's doing the same presentation to Adam Back as he does to someone that heard about Bitcoin 2 months ago. So you realize that it's not happening. Like Bitcoin Unlimited's done. It's just done. Okay, I'm done with everything I had to say. So I haven't really been paying attention to the live chat. But at this point, I'll probably turn my camera on or something. I don't know. Still debating. All right, I have questions. Let me see if I can get through questions faster. I think this video is already 40 minutes in. Damn, I can never get these short. All right. I'm not really going to say the names of the people that are asking the questions. I don't know. I guess you guys tell me if you want to hear the names of the people. All right, let's see. Question. Will passively investing outperform traders 99% of the time? If not, what separates you from the bad traders? Yes, passively investing will outperform 99% of the time, and here's why. Because if you're not passively investing, here's what you're doing. You are either following somebody else's trades, which doesn't really give you much control now, does it, right? So if you're following somebody else's trades, now that person is outperforming the market if he's good, and you're piggybacking on him. So best case scenario is you are making less money than someone else's, right? Who is good. And that person is not going to do it for free. That person is going to charge you, and you don't know if that person is good or bad, right? So that's one reason. Another reason is because most people have other shit to do, right? If you're going to tell me you're going to be a trader and beat the market, the next question I have is that your full-time job? Is that the only thing you do? Look, we all have specialties at something, right? Like if you have a job, if you're a cashier, your specialty, if I was a cashier, I'd probably be terrible, right? If I was a barber, I'd probably be terrible, right? Like when you're cutting somebody's hair, that is your specialty. And oh, I will need to take that question. Hey, Rich, throw the one broker question in there. I do need to address that. Okay, sorry, let me get back to that. If you're a barber and you're cutting someone's hair, right? That's your specialty. You're not cutting someone's hair, and washing dishes at the same time. You're cutting someone's hair because if you're not paying attention to cutting someone's hair, someone might lose an eye, right? So if you're going to tell me you're going to actively trade the market, but that's not the only thing you do during that time, there's no way you're going to beat the market, right? So to have a chance at actively trading and beating the market, it has to be your job with your full attention, okay? Now, having said that, on top of that, you need to have a specialty. So you're already going to be trading yourself. You're not going to follow people. You are going to be focusing on it as your profession. And now, where is your advantage? Your advantage will either be, well, I know fundamentals better. I will follow the news and I will react and I won't care about technical analysis. And then you are, again, way behind the ball on hedge funds and stuff like that. Go watch the show Billions. They'll show you what fundamentals are. They make the fundamentals of a stock. before they buy it. And or you would be a technical trader, in which case you need to like set up rules that work more than 50% of the time, and you have to follow those rules. You can either do it mentally if you're disciplined, or you can code them in, or you can come up with ideally, if you don't have any special knowledge and you find that technical analysis is unreliable, what you need to do is you need to come up with combination and spread trading, which is kind of what I've been working on for like the last 2 years ever since I quit my job, to basically do something that no one else does. You can trade stocks no one else trades. I know a guy that trades penny stocks. He trades stocks that are less than a penny, and he moves the markets, and he has the advantage, and he makes money. So you need some kind of an edge. You need some kind of a specialty. If you're not willing to work hard and study and create that specialty for yourself, then there is no way you're going to beat the market unless you have some kind of an insider advantage. But everyone trying to beat the market does add liquidity to it. Okay, so that's why 99% of traders can never beat the market, and neither can your investment managers. All right, next question. What do you think about the idea of having a friendly fork? Now, this is already like to preemptively disarm a malicious hard fork. No, you can't do that because whoever initiates a hard fork, there's no such thing as a friendly fork, right? It's either a fork or it isn't. And if Core initiates it too early, they become the bad guys. So they're not going to do it. And I've said this before. Core needs to be very, very careful because sooner or later, SegWit needs to go in. Whether it goes in smoothly or it goes in by force, it needs to go in. And the timing needs to be just right. I hope that, SegWit doesn't need to be forced in there. I would like to see, maybe 80% minor compliance and maybe 85% user compliance, and then SegWit can cleanly go in. But no, you're not going to disarm them. You'll just give them more ammunition to bring crazies onto their side. All right, next question. No, I don't follow Jihan Wu. I haven't seen his latest tweet, but if this is his tweet, I'll gladly read it. I don't think economic majority is that important. I started to invest into Bitcoin in 2011 by ignoring so-called majority. I'm really getting tired of people that were in 2011 telling other people that they know best. It's really getting annoying, okay? And apparently everyone got in 2011 and 2010. I've probably heard like 1,000 people say that they got in 2011. So I'm pretty sure Jihan did, and I know Roger did, and I'm sure Ben Davenport did, right? But then you have people that are building these blockchains for like Microsoft that have no freaking idea what a blockchain is, saying on interviews how they were in 2010. That's ridiculous. Okay, so honestly, I think Jihan Wu is not going to be CEO of Bitmain. In a year or so, because if it's a real company, it has a board of investors, and if it has a board of investors, they're going to look out what's best for the company, and destroying Bitcoin is not really what's best for Bitmain. All right, next. When oil drops, are rubles going to rise? No. Rubles is in the Russian rubles. And no, when oil drops, it hurts Russia a lot. I mean, if you want to do a conspiracy theory, America, crashed the price of oil to hurt Russia. I mean, that would make sense because Russia makes most of its money from oil. And when the price of oil falls, Russia's in trouble. This is also why Saudi Arabia is in deep trouble, because they've allocated, that entire country to the price of oil never falling below $80 a barrel again, and then they got totally screwed. So This is why Saudi Arabia is issuing government bonds for the first time, because and it created this bad cycle where low oil revenue forced them to pump more oil to make more money. But by pumping more oil, you're putting more oil on the market, crashing the price of oil, which now hurts Russia. So now Russia is pissed at OPEC for producing too much oil. But Russia is in the same boat. They need to produce more oil because they want to make money too. So basically, there's this monster overproduction of oil right now. This is why there was that meeting to stop all this production of oil. It's like a bad deflationary spiral where nobody wants to see the price of oil go down. They're pumping more oil to make more money, causing the price of oil to go down. Meanwhile, but if the price of oil is down, then everyone stops working on solar panels. But if the price of oil is high, everyone starts working on solar panels again. This is no different than gold and mining. When gold falls low enough, no one wants to mine it because it's too expensive. Bitcoin will have similar issues. Okay, next question. Do you still advise not jumping into Bitcoin if not currently in? I don't think I ever advised that. I don't want to advise people to get into Bitcoin. Look, Bitcoin is such a risky asset. Put whatever money into Bitcoin that you're willing to lose, because this shit can implode at any moment and might have nothing to do with the hard fork. It's just a risky asset. It's high risk, high reward. Roger threw in a bunch of money into it back in 2011, and he got heavily rewarded to the point where he now, kind of driving a force to fork Bitcoin. So it's a high risk, high reward asset. I no longer talk to my family about Bitcoin. I no longer talk to my friends about Bitcoin because I don't want this headache, right? I don't want to convince a friend or a family member to buy Bitcoin and then it goes down, and then I got two headaches on my hands. One, I lost all my retirement savings, and two, I have my family members, putting me through the woodshed. They're already not happy I quit a 6-figure job, so it's I got enough problems with dealing with friends and family. So that's why I don't recommend Bitcoin to anyone at this point. But you have to make your own decisions. Okay, next question. What's the percent that the BTC price has bottomed? Honestly, I'm giving it a 90% chance that the low is in of 915 at this point. 915 was always my low, and we've bounced. Unless there is some news coming out that I'm not aware of. I'm giving it a 90% chance the bottom's in for this. The Bitcoin Unlimited drama, I think the worst is over. Now, it's possible that the blocks can actually get full before SegWit gets in, and that's going to create a separate set of drama. But as far as Bitcoin Unlimited, I think they've barked enough, and they're never going to bite. All right, what's a good mobile wallet for iOS? I can't recommend wallets anymore, guys. I've been recommending Airbits for a year and a half, and I've been recommending Airbits because I've been using it. But you can see from recent tweets and the recent stance that the CEO of Airbits, Paul, who's a good friend of mine, by the way, took on the debate. I disagree. That's not how I wanted to see it. I like the stand that Green Address took, but Airbits is my mobile wallet. I've never had an iOS. I've never had an iPhone. I had a Mac once. I hated it. So I'm not a Mac user at all. So I have absolutely no clue. I never liked Bread Wallet. I never did. Airbits I liked. I still think Airbits is the most user-friendly wallet, but your mobile wallets shouldn't be your cold storage anyway, and use a hardware wallet. It's really hard to recommend wallets, right? Because if I recommend a wallet, I'm in the same position as with my family members, right? If I recommend a wallet to you guys publicly, and then that wallet, fucks up, you're gonna come back and yell at me. So all I can tell people is I really like the usability of Airbits. But I prefer other means of cold storage. And I'm not sure if I want to divulge those publicly. People have been reaching out to me for consulting, and people are asking about my price of consulting, which isn't really posted in many places. I charge 0.1 Bitcoin per hour of consulting, and if I'm starting to get way too many clients, that price will go up. But it is denominated in Bitcoin at 0.1 Bitcoins per hour. All right, so I figure if the price of Bitcoin goes up, then there's no way I'm going to get bombarded with consulting questions, because it'll start to get more expensive for people. All right, let's see what else we got. Next question. What would tell us that Bitcoin is no longer speculation, market cap, price, volume, other? Honestly, it's no longer speculation when it's stable, right? When it scales. I mean, when one Bitcoin is over $20,000 a coin and is fairly stable, and we have second layer solutions, and there is like insurance on the volatility of Bitcoin, regulated insurance on the volatility of Bitcoin, like a regulated futures contract. You can say that it's not really a speculative asset anymore. I'm not expecting that anytime this decade, by the way. Let's hope it's at some point next decade. It's confidence, right? I mean, Bitcoin needs to survive. It needs to get through this entire mess. All right, hey, Rich, I'm only down to 2 questions here, so you might want to shoot over some more. Though I'm only going to stay on around another 10, 15 minutes. How much would you pay to see Roger Ver cry now? Is BU done? No, I mean, I don't want that. I mean, I don't want anything bad. I mean, look, I always liked Roger. Like, I don't know how he's going to save face here. Like, I want him to save face. Like, I want, there's not going to be a soft fork, hard fork compromise. So I want to give you a possibility where Roger can, come to his senses and not be this like hated Bitcoin personality the rest of his life. But it's hard for me to think of that scenario. I think he's really been embarrassing himself with his, him trying to explain to Adam Back, what Bitcoin is. It's just bad. Like, I'm afraid to ask that guy questions because I'm going to look like an idiot. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. Like, I would like for this to like somehow, I would like for this to resolve in a good way where Roger can still be, liked by the community. Like 2 years ago, everybody liked Roger. I mean, even when Roger, said that Mt. Gox was fine and then Mt. Gox imploded and everybody lost their money, he bounced back from that. Like, he was still like, everybody, like, people were making fun of him for that, but no one was really like mad at him. No one hated him. He bounced back from that disaster. It'll be harder this time. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he can come back to the community and be liked. I mean, I still like Roger as a person, but even it's harder now. But yeah, it's bad. But I don't know how to answer that. All right, next question. When the stock market crashes, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. No, I'll leave the screen on. All right. All right. When the stock market crashes, where do you see Bitcoin price? Will people flood towards? I don't think stock market is going to crash, guys. It's a hypothetical. I don't see coming. Will people flood towards Bitcoin, or would there be a crazy pullback? And how would this affect altcoins? I think when the stock market crashes, Bitcoin will not do good, and here's why. Because when the stock market crashes, that means everybody does bad. Every company does bad, right? I mean, people, only like gold bugs want to see a stock market crash. Like nobody wants a stock market crash. When the stock market crashes, every company loses money. Every job is in danger. And if your job is in danger and your retirement account just got crushed, you have no money to buy Bitcoin. So this is why gold fell in 2008, along with the stock market, because no one had the money to go to buy gold. They were all worried about how they're going to make their next paycheck. So no, I don't think there is a stock market crash anytime soon, not in the US anyway, in Europe maybe. So yeah, so if Europe breaks up, if the euro currency breaks up, that would be a huge mass of money coming into Bitcoin, huge, because they're going to want to move their money out of the country. But as far as the US goes, you don't want that. You really don't. All right, so I'm out of questions on Skype. I saw other questions come through. Let me, there was definitely a question about one broker. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Tone, I've heard you speak highly of one broker. That is incorrect. I've never spoken highly of one broker. I've spoken of one broker. All right, let me go on. Do you know people running it? I do not. If not, why do you trust them? I don't. With your Bitcoin, because I have very little Bitcoin on there I'm willing to lose. It's a crypto situation. Okay, so if not, why do you trust them with your Bitcoin for the short time they are on their website? Right. So I trust one broker the same amount I trusted Cryptsy, and the same amount I trust Poloniex, right? Or a gambling site, or a drug market, right? Or BTCE for that matter, right? All of these companies can take your Bitcoin and run away with them, right? So whatever risk you are willing to take with just holding your own Bitcoin, you should take significantly less risk by putting that Bitcoin with an unregulated third party, okay? Now, the reason why I like one broker is because it's a neat platform and it allows you to do certain things you can't do anywhere else. Now, I understand there are competitors to one broker, like even 796, which does exactly the same thing, and probably a few others. It's basically CFD contracts using Bitcoin as the underlying. And I think I've talked about CFD contracts on prior episodes. But you're basically betting on like, say, the S&P 500 with your Bitcoin. And if you're right, you make more Bitcoin. If you're wrong, you lose some Bitcoin. So if you are interested in this kind of service, I have an affiliate code, because when I throw this trade, I mean, I already dropped gold, right? Like, if I want to just take on this small trade in gold because of a nice risk-reward ratio, I can either use my real broker or I can use one broker. Now, if I use my real broker, I probably have to buy a gold future contract, which is, 33 ounces of gold. And I may not want to take on a position that big because I can't babysit it. But if I feel like taking on a $100 position in gold, not a 33 ounce position in gold, I can do it with one broker, and it's very, very convenient. And it's hassle free with Bitcoin. So it's also good if you want to learn how to trade and just put some skin in the game and money on the line. You can do it with like $10, $15 positions. So I think there is a benefit there. Would I recommend someone, put 10, 20 Bitcoin on a trade with one broker? Of course not. But if that's what you're going to do, please use my affiliate code. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, right? So this way, they're not keeping 100% of their commissions. A little tiny piece goes to me. That's the only difference, right? I mean, that's the affiliate code. All the affiliate code does, instead of one broker making 100% commission on your trade, they share like 10% of that or 15% of that with with the affiliate through their affiliate program, right? It's not a multi-level marketing affiliate program, by the way, which I hate, right? I hate those. I think what BitClub does is not good, and I'll probably need to talk about that on a crypto scam episode. So there are some affiliate programs that make me cringe because they're literally designed to sucker people into an MLM, and there's some affiliate programs that are awesome, like Uber or Airbnb. I don't even use those affiliate programs, right? But like Uber does is Uber gives you a free ride and the person entering a free ride. Project Fi, if anyone is a U.S. citizen and travels internationally, Project Fi is an amazing cell phone plan. I absolutely love it. I was one of like the last 100 people in America grandfathered to Verizon's unlimited data. I could run my entire apartment on Verizon cell phone unlimited data at a price of like 8 years ago when like smartphones first came out. I was grandfathered in. I never signed a contract. This was back when they were begging people to use data and they were giving away unlimited data. This is like years before 4G was even invented. And Project Fi made me give up that grandfather unlimited data plan. They have an awesome affiliate program. You get $20, and the affiliate you that buys that opens a Project Fi phone gets $20, right? So these are great affiliate programs. I really don't promote them as much as I do because I don't want to shill any products. But yeah, that's to answer the one broker question. And the affiliate link is in the description of this video, by the way. All right, let me see. Next question. What would possibly incentivize miners to go with the BU fork in the event of a fork? Nothing. Nothing. There is almost, well, no, let me take that back. It's not nothing. Miners know that Bitcoin Unlimited is stupid, and it's not actually going to scale Bitcoin. So miners wouldn't mind. I mean, I still think that miners are signaling for Bitcoin Unlimited so that there is no scaling solution implemented at all, and fees go up and they make more money. Now, if miners were gonna take on a solution, they would take on the Bitcoin Unlimited solution potentially, because that would completely delay off-chain scaling by possibly forever. And they will continue making all the fees and clogging up transactions. Now, the reason why they wouldn't actually do that is because the Bitcoin Unlimited developers will probably turn Bitcoin into Aurora coin, because that's about the kind of technical competency they have, or Paycoin or whatever other altcoin. Well, like I don't think Bitcoin will survive in that level of competency. It's like the DAO programmers now get to commit code into the Bitcoin blockchain. Or, well, that was a dumb sentence. The DAO developers get to release new releases of Bitcoin clients. All right, next. Okay, I got that question in. All right, next. Do you ever use unusual option activity as a metric for trading? Not anymore, because every time I did, I was wrong. Like you have to specialize in that. I mean, I know options amazingly well. I mean, I think I have a specialty in option, but I don't have a specialty in recognizing option activity and what it means for the future. And every time like I thought I did, or I listened to other people thinking that I did, it didn't work out that way. So I try not to. I try to ignore option activity, because every time I do, I'm like, oh my God, look at this. I know what this means. And then it doesn't mean that. So I haven't found it to be consistent enough to make money on. So I ignore option activity. And very often I would buy options on something, and I'm the only person holding that option. that sometimes that makes me more confident in a position because I'm thinking something no one else is thinking. And you would think that makes me an idiot, but quite often it doesn't. But when there is too much option activity, it's it could be like, unreasonable bias, like rolling in on itself. And there are so much people with so much money, and they see this option activity, and they're just gonna say, well, let me see how I can screw you the most. Like, I mean, Goldman Sachs can do this, and other big institutions. So sometimes I prefer to take on option trades that no one else is thinking about. Any stock under $5 is considered a penny stock. I don't know what the actual definition of a penny stock is. I don't consider a penny stock under $5 as a penny stock. To me, it's more market cap related. Like if a stock has over, I would say, over $100 million market cap, it's not really a penny stock to me. I treat penny stocks as stocks under like $2. And it can't be a stock that used to be, like $40 that, is having a rough time and is now a $2 stock, because it can always go back to 40. I've seen that before. I mean, Twitter was a $75 stock. It's about to go under $10, right? I mean, we all know Twitter doesn't know how to make money, but I can see Twitter turning around. I can see like Trump buying Twitter and turning it around after he's done with his presidency, and the stock goes back to like $100. I can see it. All right, those are comments. Those are comments. I'm scrolling through chat now, guys. Do I have an opinion on Tether? Oh God. I have lots of opinions on Tether. And these opinions are very, very recently, because I don't really know much about Tether. I had no clue that it was built on Omni. I think at this point, I think Tether is super dumb. I thought it was a good idea, but now that I kind of understand how it's built, I think there was like at least 3 or 4 different risks with putting your money into Tether that I think it's insane. I can't possibly recommend Tether. Like the idea that one Tether equals $1 is insane, because there's like at least 3 separate risks that are involved in Tether that aren't reflected in the price of Tether. Like I would trade Tether at like maybe 85 or 90 cents on the dollar, because it doesn't reflect the risk in the system. I mean, your money is being held by institutions, I believe, in Taiwan. The thing is built on Omni, which is built on Bitcoin. Bitcoin can fork. I've been like asking the people at Tether, what happens if Bitcoin forks. I think almost right now, considering the state of Bitcoin, I think any asset on top of Bitcoin is stupid. Well, let's hope Bitcoin as a value transfer of Bitcoin survives. I mean, there's no counterparty risk here with Bitcoin. It's just Bitcoin. Either you hold it or you don't. Tether has like 3 layers of counterparty risk, all rolled on top of each other. I think it's insane. Someone's asking what we think of Steemit. Please go to my website and type the word Steemit into the search bar. I mean, someone just made a comment. Roger wants to keep the fees low so poor people can use Bitcoin. But Lightning Network, if Segwit gets in and Lightning Network gets built, the transactions will be cheaper and safer than anything we can imagine. So I don't understand Roger's position, because Bitcoin Unlimited is not going to do that. All right, next question. Hey, thanks for capitalizing questions with like, oh man, did I lose my place here? Thanks for capitalizing questions with a capital word question so that they're significantly easier for me to find, though I lost my place. Oh man, all right, a different question. Tone, what do you think about Volturo? I think it's a decent idea, but I have not done any due diligence on Volturo, and I just texted Josh, the CEO, and he's going to be on my podcast. Oh, by the way, we have a new podcast now. It's called On the Record, which is people that want to get asked questions by me. I warn all of these CEOs, you don't want to come on my show on the record because we may not be friends afterwards, but they want to come on the show anyway. And I will try and ask them the hardest questions I can come up with because most of the time I disagree with their ideas. Oh, wow. Was I really that far up? Jesus. Oh man, I totally lost my place of where I was. Oh, here we go. Oh wow, this chat is like forever. What is the best platform for posting content in order to get some form of token that can be exchanged for Bitcoin? They don't exist. They're all scams. Maybe yours network, but you're not going to make any money. Probably. I mean, look. Anyway, please just like go and look at Steemit. O'Connor asked the question. Just search for Steemit or search Tone Vase Steemit or go to my blog and type in Steemit. It's insane. Creating your own monopoly money so that you can become rich from other people posting content and then selling the scam coin for Bitcoin is scammy. Like I think it's insane, and it's not going to work, and it's not going to last either. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, but your content is probably worthless. Considering how little money I make in donations from my content is kind of considered worthless by YouTube standards, right? So if you think your post about, I don't know, growing flowers on Steemit is worth $3,000 like it was in the early days, you were being scammed by someone making way more than that, right? So if you made $3,000 on a post how to grow a rose, Dan Larimer made $50,000 on top of that stupidity. And then you made your $5,000 because you scammed someone who spent good Bitcoin paying you that $5,000 for your token. So it's bad. It's just bad. So if you have to create monopoly money to pay other people with, it's terrible. I got lots of questions here, guys. I think BU is done. I honestly do. Someone asked the question. What about using Bitcoin to earn interest in lending? If you hand your Bitcoin out to someone, you're never getting it back. And I learned it the hard way by losing half my Bitcoin. But feel free to relearn my lesson by lending your Bitcoin out to earn some interest. Um, 4.8% annual interest is actually very reasonable. If someone is offering you 4% interest, it's probably it's legit, right? I mean, you can earn 4% interest in the current financial system pretty easily. Though, why would you do that? Why would you give your Bitcoin to earn 4% interest when the stock market returns 10% every year on average, right? So that's just silly. And last year, the stock market returned 25%. And I've been telling people that stock market is your best investment. I've been saying that for years. Let's see here. All right, so I answered Volturo, kinda. I don't really know much about it. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Volturo episode. Everyone's asking me about Volturo now, so I'll have Volturo on our new series on the World Crypto Network called On the Record, and I'll talk to the Volturo CEO. We'll see how that goes. Did you see the blockchain is full message on local Bitcoins? Do you think that a propaganda for unlimited? No, I mean, when spam comes into the system, the blockchain is going to be full. And what do you call it? Local Bitcoins probably got tired of answering support questions, so they just threw it up there just to like let people know that your transaction might take an hour or two, which I'm okay with, by the way. Vertcoin, I know nothing. It's stupid. It's my default answer. It's somewhere between stupid and it's somewhere between stupid, a scam they don't know is a scam, or a scam they know is a scam. It's somewhere in that range. I'd have to look into it to give a real opinion on Vertcoin, but I doubt I will ever look at it because it's just not important. Oh man. Kaholi keeps repeating the same question, which I may not answer. Can I explain these words? Futures, options, bonds, equities, assets, commodities, derivatives. I can explain all of them. I mean, I know I know what these things are like the back of my hand. I don't really have the time right now, since this video is already an hour and a half, to talk about these. I mean, these are yeah. If definitions of those are really important to you, and you don't want to spend the time Googling to find the answers to these words, then maybe 0.1 Bitcoin consulting fee for me to explain these terms to you may not be a bad investment. I don't know anything about Ethereum's development lately. I just know that the concept of Ethereum is insane. I don't care for binary options. I mean, you're guessing, right? I mean, it's binary options is basically red versus black roulette. I mean, go for it. If you like playing roulette and you like having a choice of two things, go for it. I know nothing about Decred. All I know is that because Charlie Lee and Adam Meister, that thing pumped like a madman, but it'll probably go back to zero. I don't accept altcoins as tips for two reasons. One, I don't want to support altcoins, and two, I barely have the time to set up a Bitcoin full node. I'm not gonna, download all these other clients. I'm not gonna deal with it. I also, don't keep a static address, right? I mean, I'd have to. I already try to change my Bitcoin address every time I make new content. I put a new address in. Imagine if I had to do that for all the old coins, I'd go nuts. I'm not doing that. Look, guys, if you have altcoins and you want to tip me, there's always Shapeshift. I mean, if you don't, that's fine too. I mean, that's not. Again, this is a question about What would incentivize miners to mine BU, assuming BTU will be worth less than BTC? I don't know. The only way it would be is if, like, the BU miners, attack. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. I'm sorry, guys. I can't make sense of stupidity. And Bitcoin Unlimited is stupidity. So I cannot make sense of it. The Occam's razor tells me that the miners are signaling, the big miners, well, like via BTC and Bitcoin.com, they're being, funded by Roger Ver, so there's a reason why they want BU. But as far as ant pool goes, and we're really talking about ant pool here, Occam's razor tells me that ant pool doesn't want Bitcoin Unlimited. They just want, no scaling so they can collect bigger fees. That's the only logical explanation in my head. What do I think about a user-activated soft fork? I answered that earlier. If we have, 85% of nodes running Bitcoin, running Bitcoin Core with SegWit, 85% of nodes, and on top of that, we have 75 or 80% of miners supporting SegWit, then I think that would be fine. I would rather it be a combination, like lower the threshold on miners from 95 to like 80, but raise the threshold on users, or, well, not raise, but have a threshold on users also around 75 to 85. So it's a nice combination of the two, and everything will go smoothly. So I'm not a fan of it as the only option. I'm a fan of it in combination. And you know what? And if that don't happen, then nobody wants to scale, and that's fine too. Then status quo it is. I'm fine with that. If you don't want a $100 transaction fee, then activate SegWit, because Bitcoin Unlimited ain't happening. Like, I'll never switch. I'll run my Bitcoin Core SegWit node, and that's it. And there's many people like me. The other side isn't gonna hold out. The other side ain't gonna leave Bitcoin if SegWit gets activated. But if Bitcoin Unlimited gets activated, a shitload of people are not going over there. So this is just dumb. I don't know what else to say. Let's see what else we got. Why hasn't Litecoin adopted SegWit? I have no idea. Nobody cares enough about Litecoin. Also, you don't know if the same actors that are actively preventing SegWit on Bitcoin aren't actively preventing SegWit on Litecoin for the same reason, because they don't want to see good code actually work. And people are lazy. All right. These questions are never ending, but my time eventually does. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the chat at least. Could Bitcoin become too valuable to use? Well, no, because it's infinitely divisible. It can become too valuable to use in small parts because the transaction fees are too high, and then you will need centralized second layer solution. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If Bitcoin never gets SegWit, if Bitcoin isn't getting Bitcoin Unlimited, that should be already established. If Bitcoin also never gets SegWit, second layer scaling solutions can still be built. The problem is they will be centralized. They will be Coinbase second layer solutions. Okay? And you'll be able to use Coinbase for your cup of coffee, but it will not be anonymous. And it will not be censorship resistant. That's for damn sure. Okay? So you can still have that. You can still buy your cup of coffee. It's just that everyone will know you did. So you really need SegWit for the permissionless and anonymous second layer solutions, second layer scaling solutions, which will be very, very cheap. So if Bitcoin never gets those, and you want to use Bitcoin in a censorship resistant way, you're going to have to do it in very large transactions with very large transaction fees. But no, I don't think it can become too valuable to use. So that's a no. Someone is asking if they can pay me to do a tech analysis regarding of alts like Ethereum. Look, if you want to pay me a consulting fee to just talk to me for an hour about the technical chart of Ethereum, sure. I'll talk about what I see in the technical chart of any asset. It doesn't matter, right? Because technicals act cross asset. Assets are relevant. You can even like remove the name of the asset. I don't even need to know what it is. You can just, we can talk about a chart. I don't even have to look at the name of it, which is actually a neat way to do it, by the way. Like, you do a technical analysis on a chart, and you don't have any bias on what the name of that asset is, like what the asset is. So yeah, I mean, I can do it. I don't know how valuable it would be, because I don't know if it would mean anything, because I know Bitcoin pretty well. I've been looking at a Bitcoin chart forever, but I don't look at the Ethereum chart. I can give you my opinion on what the technicals look like, but I don't expect to be. I don't expect that to be all that accurate, my opinion. But I'm not the one. I'm not the one spending the money on it. So. What is my opinion on Bitcoin Meister accepting any altcoins as tips? Though only, I mean, I'm not happy about it. I'm not. I don't agree with Adam's position on altcoins. Let's put it that way. I don't agree with Adam's position on Steemit, but I like Adam. He does more good than bad, so I let it slide. I don't give him a hard time about it. But no, I don't necessarily agree with it, because if I agreed with it, I would do it, right? So that's thank you for starting trouble, Georges. But I don't think Adam is going to be mad about that. He knows I don't agree with his position. It's not a secret. I don't agree with Paul Pui's position on the hard fork, but we're still friends, and I still use his wallet, right? Airbits. So it's. I mean, sometimes you gotta look at the good picture, and a little bit of bad, or a little bit of disagreement. It shouldn't take away from a lot of good. I've always held Roger in that position, but the bad is now starting to creep up a little more and more and more. Will S&P outperform a diversified portfolio of a bunch of stocks and real estate and international stocks? I think it will outperform that, but that's an opinion. In reality, you do want to be more diversified. So EMH would tell you that that a more diversified portfolio over the S&P 500 would outperform. I happen to think that the S&P is about to hit a really nice bull market, outperforming other stuff. Though large caps might outperform the S&P actually. So okay, next. What do I think of Zcash? Oh God, please go to my blog and type in Zcash. I've talked about it in the early launch days, and it's I think Zcash is super dumb, borderline scammy. Jesus Christ, guys! I mean, it's this chat is moving at an unbelievable pace. Yeah, look, I'm sorry, I can't cover all these questions. What would you consider a transaction time that is unreasonable? I don't know, a week, maybe 3-4 days. I mean, I just moved my 401k money from my retirement account into my broker account. It took like 3 days for the check to get 3 to 4 days for the check to arrive at my brokers. And now my broker is telling me that they hold checks for 7 days before crediting my account. So the check clears and they still hold it for 7 days before they give me access to my money. So that has now lasted, it'll last 2 weeks for me to move my money from my 401k into my self-directed IRA. And I'm okay with it, right? So it's as long as I know it's gonna get there, right? Like as long as I know for a fact that the money will be there, and nobody can censor it, it doesn't really matter. You should listen to Peter Todd when he says that 10-minute block time was probably too small, and if Satoshi could redo it, an hour probably would have been better per block instead of 10 minutes. Meanwhile, everybody else is screaming you need 3-second block times. You can hear Peter Todd give you the reason why 30 minutes or maybe 1 hour would be a safer block time than 10 minutes, even for Bitcoin. It's a reasonable argument. You should listen to it. What are my thoughts on Max Kaiser's view on Bitcoin? Look, I credit Max Kaiser for getting me into Bitcoin back in like 2012 and 13. Well, I didn't get in 2012. Maybe if I would have listened to Max Kaiser, I would have. But Max Kaiser was very instrumental in me getting Bitcoin and me getting involved in Bitcoin. But every project that Max Kaiser has pitched since Bitcoin have turned out very, very badly. And I haven't watched Max Kaiser's show in years. So I have no opinion. I don't know what he's doing these days. It would be great to get on his show one day, though. I'm too tired to speculate on the price of weed if it gets legalized in Canada. Just ask me another time. Well, you didn't have to make a spreadsheet to see what your investments would have done since 1979. There are websites for this, and I have articles on this, and I've talked about them in these videos. You can just type in, gold versus S&P 500, and then you pick any month in history, and then it will tell you how much more money you would have made in the stock market. Will BTC cause a lack of investment because of hold and increase in value? No. No. If I run a short on Bitcoin and Bitcoin forks and BTU is worth 175, will I be able to collect on the short? I have absolutely no idea. Ask whichever unregulated broker you trust to hold your Bitcoin, and maybe he'll answer you. I don't think they would know. Why doesn't Core also increase the block size along with SegWit? They are. SegWit is an effective block size increase. And the moment you activate SegWit, it'll fit 2 megabytes worth of data into a 1 megabyte block. And if everyone uses SegWit, it will fit 4 megabytes worth of data into a 1 megabyte block. And it does it in a way that doesn't create 2 Bitcoins. That's the problem. It's not that Core doesn't want to do it. Is that Core sees it as a moral hazard. So the moment Core agrees to a block size increase at this stage of the game with a hard fork, either they were liars 6 months to a year ago when they said it was too dangerous, or they are not doing their fiduciary duty of keeping Bitcoin safe and secure. I don't know which one is worse. So it's not happening. SegWit was the compromise. SegWit didn't have to be a block size increase, but it is. That was very debatable from Core. Many people at Core did not want to raise the block size at all. And SegWit immediately creates 2 megs. I would love it if someone gave me OneCoin. I'm dying to get my hands on some OneCoin. I will gladly take donations in OneCoin, Bitcoin and OneCoin. If anybody wants to donate OneCoin to me, that would be absolutely awesome. Yeah, I don't know what Brave is doing. Brave is creating this token, BAT. I have not had time to look into it. It's probably completely stupid. But I'm just guessing. I've done zero research. Scrolling through his chat as fast as I can, but it's well, Factum is again, like, that's a terrible example. Okay, so someone said, is there anything an altcoin could do that would make you believe it has merit? For example, Factum. Factum has no merit. If you want to give me examples, you got to put Litecoin and Monero in there. Litecoin and Monero have merit. They're also fairly legit. I just don't think they're going to succeed, but they're useful and they have merit. I just don't want to accept donations in them because it's an annoyance on my part. Now I got to go sell them for Bitcoin, or I become an altcoin speculator. Neither of which things I want to do. I mean, all your donations go right into cold storage, and unless I got to buy, new equipment and stuff. Guys, I might have skipped some questions here. I really need to get to the end. This is I mean, these videos are getting out of control. No one watches these things outside of live viewers. I mean, there's probably not enough time in the day for anyone. All right, let's do one more. Michael, you get one more question. Tone, from an economic perspective, what would be wrong in combining SegWit with 2 megabyte block? I think I answered that already. SegWit already does more than a 2 megabyte block, and it does it in a way that doesn't create 2 Bitcoins. Any thoughts of a good crypto space investment available today? No, there aren't any. I missed out on my Celium crowd sale. Good. I don't know what else to say to that. No, there are no good investments, right? I mean, and you know what? If you ask me, Tone, what are some of the good early stage investments in non-Bitcoin companies? I would also say none. You have zero specialty in picking winners and losers. All you will do is lose your money. When do I plan to do the next On the Record? The next On the Record will take place next week. And probably the week after that, I'll have Volturo. So I don't want to, divulge the name of the next guest, but it's another questionable project in the space. And then we'll have Volturo. Jury's still out on Volturo. But yeah, so next one will come next week. Those require a lot less prep time than my Crypto Scam podcast, which I know I need to get back to as well. All right, guys, I think I got to the bottom of the chat. It's another, at least I kept this video under 2 hours. So thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, check out my blog. If you have questions on any topics, you just pop them right into the search window. I promise this weekend I will take the 8 hours I need to post, the last month of all my content that I've done right in here. And this way you can Google your favorite altcoin, and hopefully the right posts will come up that will tell you all of my thoughts on those coins. Once again, if you are feeling generous, feel free to shoot over donations. We'll see how long I will keep doing this. Also during trading season for me, which is the earnings season, I probably will not have this kind of free time because it's a job. That's my job. So we'll see how that goes. And also, I need to start putting my consulting descriptions in there. But you guys know what my specialties are. If one of my specialties is of interest, the current rate is 0.1 Bitcoins per hour. All right, thank you very much for tuning in, and catch you on the next one.